How are people affording life right now?
This is a great question because times are hard out here. People living paycheck to paycheck. Like even myself, I had to pick up a second job. And when I tell you, ever since I picked up the second job, like things have been great. You know, I've been getting all kinds of money, TVs and jewelry and things like that. So what I suggest is if you're going through tough times, get a second job like myself and maybe things will work out. All right. You ready?
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Whatever y'all doing to pay y'all rent, I need y'all to let me know. I just want to say, like, I'm so proud of y'all who are able to pay y'all rent. Like, I salute y'all. I applaud y'all. I aspire to be like y'all, but I give the fuck up. I give all the way up because this is ridiculous. I cannot afford to get my nails done. I can't afford to get my hair done. I can't afford to get a wax. I can't afford to do anything. I can't afford to go nowhere. I barely got money for gas. My rent is $1,300 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, probably like 620 square feet. It's little as shit. Y'all, it's not worth it. I've been having to do a payment arrangement on my phone bill, a payment arrangement for my Wi-Fi, a payment arrangement for the electricity. It's to the point where I wake up in a bad mood because I know I ain't got money to do nothing. My friends know not to ask me to do nothing. Don't ask me to go nowhere. Don't ask me, can I buy this? Christmas gifts, it's out the door. I'm not doing any of that. And I don't like that. I like being able to have money to go to a restaurant, to have money to give people gifts, to have money to give myself gifts. I don't like this at all. It's ghetto. Not to mention, I have no spouse. I have no government help. I don't have a roommate. It's just little old me trying to pay these bills and keep up with everything every single month. And the months are flying by. I cannot keep up. I gotta fight for extra hours at my job, and I don't even want to be there. I done lost 25 pounds, and I don't know if it's because I've been watching my calories or if it's because it's nothing to eat in the house. I'm living like I'm in my 30s when I'm nowhere near that. Nobody can tell me that that's normal. These prices are not normal. Groceries, not normal. Rent, not normal. None of this stuff is normal to me. I'm stressed out, and I don't know what y'all finna do, but I'm finna move back in with my mama. My mama love me, so y'all gotta figure out what y'all about to do, but I'm not paying rent no more.
Spilling the tea on how I afford my life being unemployed right now. So for those of you that don't know, I willingly quit my corporate job and I have 1.5 months off between jobs. I live in Toronto and we all know Toronto is so freaking expensive. Like somehow every time I leave my home, I end up spending like $100. And yes, part of that is because I have a spending problem. I've also done a bunch of traveling in my time off. Like I've been to London, Paris, New York. I'm in Vancouver right now and I'm going to Shanghai next week. So how do I afford my life? Let's start with traveling. My sister lives in London, so I don't have to pay accommodation when I go to London, and she feeds me for most of my meals. So the only thing I had to pay for was the plane ticket. For New York, I bought my plane ticket with points because I have so many from my credit cards, and I stayed with a friend for the majority of the trip, so my accommodation was mostly free. For Paris, I only went for a day trip, so I didn't have to pay for accommodation. I only paid for the train ticket from London to Paris. So in this time of unemployment, I have two main sources of cash. Number one is that I had a bunch of paid vacation days still at my last company, and they had to pay me out for those, and that amounted to like almost a month of income. Number two is savings. Yes, even though I am super frivolous with my spending, I do actually have savings. And the weeks leading up to me quitting, I knew I was going to quit. I knew I wasn't going to have sources of income soon. So I ended up like spending a bit less and saving a bit more in those weeks. And then also because I knew I was going to quit, I stopped contributing to all of my employee matching programs, such as Group RSP. And just by doing that, I got a bunch of extra liquidity per paycheck. I'm not gonna lie, I am burning through cash pretty quickly because of all the traveling and spending. And now that I just have so much free time, I feel like I'm doing and eating so much more. And a big part of my spending and my ability to go travel and stuff like this is that I do have the comfort of knowing that I have a job lined up and I will have income again soon. And I'm also really just trying to like enjoy my time off and do everything that I want to do, because like when am I going to have a month and a half off between jobs again? Like I don't plan on changing jobs again in the near future, so I'm really just trying to like make the most of this period. And yeah, that is how I am affording my life right now being unemployed.
This is one of those things I talk to my friends about, but I've never said publicly. Do you ever wonder how people are affording things? Like my husband and I do pretty decently. We own a home. We each have a car with car payments. We have a moderate amount of student loan debt. We have one kiddo. We live in a rural town outside of Portland, Oregon. I feel like as far as millennials go, we're probably pretty middle of the road. And I think our spending is probably pretty middle of the road too. I budget, I try to watch our bills. We don't do a lot of shopping, but Amazon shows up more than I'd like. But then I see people who are like regular, and by the way, no judgment passing on these. This is just me wondering how this is possible. I see people who are regularly getting their nails done, regularly getting their hair done. They're constantly buying new home decor items. They're constantly buying new clothing that's on trend. Like I just watched a video of a woman talking about how her costs for her pedicure are $200 for every pedicure. And like, while that's great, and I'm sure it's like a gorgeous pedicure, I don't doubt that the service is awesome. I'm just like, how is somebody affording to do that regularly? And moreover, like, how are there enough people who can afford to do that to like make that service worth it, I guess, is part of it too. So anyways, I'm just curious if other people think about this too or wonder this too.
I'll tell you how. By signing off my 9 to 5 and turning into my 5 to 9. People are looking for a second source of income to come in on top of their 9 to 5 to just try and keep up with this economy. And to be honest with you, if I did not have my travel business that I started a year ago, it would be really hard to build a savings right now. It has made it very difficult for my husband and I to try and achieve our ultimate goal, and that is to have a family. So to answer her question, this is how Americans are getting by. They're getting second source of income, either a second job or an online-based job, or they're simply putting things on credit cards, which we were doing too. So that's how Americans are getting by right now. Period.
In Toronto, we definitely are not. So I've been looking for work since July. I have a small business, but I still need enough income so that I can actually live. So my boyfriend owns a small business as well. We have to move out of our apartment by May. We spend, I don't know, at least $200 on groceries a week. We have 2 pets. We live in a 1-bedroom. And average price of 1-bedrooms, by the way, are $2,000 to $2,500. Even getting an interview in your field. I've worked in social media management for the last 3 years, and I have been having so much trouble even getting an interview. I've seen on applications, it's minimum 200 applicants to 900. Grocery prices have gone up exponentially, and they say to live in Toronto, you have to be making a minimum of $100,000. What is going on?
So the way that I do it is that I don't and pretend that I do. I'll walk around like everything's fine and dandy, but then I'll go home later and cry and panic. It also helps to never check your bank account or credit card statements ever. It helps me keep up the illusion. It's like method acting. Sometimes I don't check for so long, I forget my financial situation entirely. Those are the best days, the really ignorant ones. But eventually you come down from that high because the credit card companies like to remind you, like, hey, you owe us money, you owe us so much money, you owe us more money than you can afford. It's like a freaking mob boss.
Here's how I only make $1,400 in Manhattan, and I'm living okay. First of all, I live with 2 other roommates, and we live in East Harlem. The rent is pretty cheap. I pay $850 a month with utilities bills and like Wi-Fi, maybe like closer to $900, a little bit more. My other bills coming out. I don't have a lot of things going out, but I do have a storage unit, and I do have ClassPass. That is the one thing for myself that I keep, because it has me a gym membership, and I get classes, and it keeps me sane, and that is about $65 a month. So total bills, I would say like around $1,000, give or take. I should know. I know. Okay, I'm not good at budgeting, but if someone's asking me how I make it work, I'm not perfect, but this is how I do it. For groceries, I mostly shop at Trader Joe's and Target, occasionally Whole Foods, but I never spend more than like $100 to $150 a month on groceries. So like maybe $50 to $60 every 2 weeks, give or take. Again, I don't budget the way that I should budget, but like I know what's in my account. And as far as pay, it's hard because it's not like a stable set pay. I work minimum wage, but I cover a lot of shifts. I was picking up a lot of extra this month, so it's a little bit higher. But I average $300 to $350 a week, and I immediately always put at least minimum $100 in my savings. So my savings is okay. It's not great, but I could pay rent for a few months if necessary. I don't have a ton of help from my parents. My mom does help me where she can, and that's usually like sometimes groceries or like a random expense like 20-30 bucks here and there. She'll help with my storage bill, which is $100 a month, things like that. So it does help. It takes a bit of a load off. So I would say maybe my total income per month could be anywhere from $1,300 to $1,600. But like let's say bills are $1,200 a month. That still leaves me with an extra $200 to $300 a month in spare. $100 away in savings. Okay, that's still an extra few $100s a month. Give or take $100 or $200 a month to spend freely. Unless you're shopping every fucking day and you're only shopping at Aritzia and like nice end stores and like always buying new things, then like yeah, you would be broke as fuck. But I don't. I will occasionally get a little new makeup, a little new skincare, but like it's just really not that hard to not spend your whole life. Like it is hard. I'm not discounting that New York it's very expensive. I lose my mind constantly, being like, holy shit, how is this? I don't know how I'm doing it. I don't know how I'm doing it. But if you make $100,000 a year and you can't do it, you're just stupid. I'm sorry, but you're just dumb.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. No one is affording life right now. My ass works 7 days a week, and literally all of my paychecks just go to my bills, and that's it. And then my fur children, who are both disabled. I did that to myself. But groceries, bills, that's it. That's it. No one is affording life right now. Life is expensive right now. To sum it up, we're all on the fucking struggle bus together. No one's affording life. No one. Save me a seat, because I'm hopping in right next to you. Everything is outrageous right now. For no God-given fucking reason. Yeah.
If you watch my content, then you'll see that I recently moved into what I would call like my dream apartment, and I also just got what I would also call my dream car. And ever since I made those two decisions, I've gotten this question quite a bit, which is how can I afford my lifestyle? And I'm gonna be fully transparent because I don't want anyone to ever look at my content and feel bad about themselves or wonder. And I feel like I used to do that when I was younger, and I wish more people would have been transparent. So I'm going to tell you how I can afford my nice lifestyle. First off, by no means do I come from a wealthy or privileged family. My parents immigrated over here, made a life for themselves, and it was tough, and I saw all of it. Like, I'm the eldest daughter. I remember living in a trailer with my 6 cousins at one point. Like, my parents have put in the work. When I went to college, I was first gen, and I got a full ride. I got a need-based scholarship, and my parents, bless them, they did not help me at all, not because they didn't want to, but because they couldn't. So I was very privileged to get that scholarship, and now I have no debt from school. While in school, I worked 2 jobs, and I quit both of those jobs once I wanted to pursue my small business, which is still what I do today. So I'm blessed and privileged enough to be able to do social media as a job, even though I hate calling it a job, and I also do my small business. So that's just a little backstory when it comes to how I can actually afford my lifestyle. Guys, I think it's very important to remember what people value in life. For example, my apartment, I love my apartment. It's nice. Like, I agree, it's nice. But I live in North Carolina. Like, I do not live in LA. I don't live in New York. I don't live in Texas. I don't really plan to move there anytime soon either. I live in a relatively affordable state, I'd say. And that is completely okay with me. Like, I love North Carolina. I love my friends and family here. I really don't plan on moving anytime soon. And I probably pay the same amount of rent that my friends in New York or Florida, Miami, like LA, Texas, what they pay. Another example, my car, you guys, I have been saving up for that car since I graduated college. That's 2 years of saving up. And before that, I had a 2009 Grand Cherokee Jeep, and it was ran through. Like, that Jeep had so many issues. I've never had a brand new car. Even the Bronco that I just got was not new. I drove it off the lot with miles in it. But that is completely okay with me. Some people might value like a brand new car. I don't really care. There are a ton of other examples I could give. For example, like, I don't ever get my nails done. I think the last time I went was 2 years ago. Instead, I invested $100 in the supplies, and I do the nails myself at home. Same with blowouts and like hair color treatments. I don't get my hair dyed. I don't get blowouts. I have my Dyson that I invested in, but I don't get blowouts. I also don't get facial, so when I want to go to Sephora and buy myself some expensive skincare, I don't feel so bad about it either. I also don't travel as much, and that money that I don't use to travel, I put into like a nice apartment or a nice car, but that's like okay with me. It's what I value. I'm gonna do a part 2, but I hope that part 1 made even a little bit of sense.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Yeah, I say this all the time. Like, luckily my husband and I are older, so like when we bought our first homes like 15 years ago, it was like 120,000. Those same homes are worth 400 and something thousand, 4 times as much. But the salaries are not matching. Like, we could do that early in our career, maybe making like 70,000. Somebody early in their career is maybe making maybe like 90,000, but if the houses are 4 times as much, why aren't the salaries 4 times as much?
As for me, I keep my costs low. I hardly spend money on stuff, honestly. It's just rent, food, and other essentials and stuff like that. But I hardly spend, honestly. I don't really see the need to. I just save and I invest my money. That's really it.
So how do you guys get by? I'm really curious. Are you a 2-income household? Do you have generational wealth? Like, what's going on? Because everything is simply too expensive, and I just don't understand how people are getting by, especially if they have kids and like normal jobs.
One of the biggest questions I get asked is, how do I afford to live in New York City? And I just wanted to kind of like come on here and explain a little bit more about it, because I think it's so easy to look at people's lives and think that they get things handed to them, or that they just like charge heaps for like what they do, and maybe they do. But I just kind of wanted to explain how my situation works, if this can help anyone who is looking to move to the US. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I share finances with my best friend, and she does all of the numbers. Her name is Talia. We both work full-time in the marketing industry. I am a TikTok strategist / marketing consultant. And we're both very like open and transparent about our money, both being financially independent and like making it here by ourselves. So our rent together is $5,700, which is like 8.4K Australian a month. And I know that sounds like genuinely ridiculous, but for what we got, we feel like it's a decent price, but it still is like astronomically expensive here. So it's on us to basically work backwards and be like, okay, how can we make like the minimum that we need, which is like obviously our rent, bills, and anything else that we need to pay for. I'm really fortunate that I do get gifted a lot of clothes. I buy like most of my jewelry from like Amazon. I think it's so easy to look at other people's lives online and think like, they have it so good, or they just like got this so naturally, or it just like came to them. And I do not make a lot of money through paid partnerships, because I feel like I don't really do them that often. Not for any particular reason, actually. I just don't do them that often, unless I really am using the brand or really care about the brand. But all these like little additional things contribute to being able to afford to live here. But I just wanted to open up the conversation. If you are looking at like people's lives, or even my life, being like, how do you do this, or how do you do this, or do you have any advice for this? Please let me know in the comments. I'm so happy to make videos about literally anything. Very transparent, very open book, and yeah, just want to help out. And if you have any questions, let me know.
So you may hate me for saying this, but I think that life truly only starts to begin when you're making at least $20,000 a month. And just hear me out. So I'm 24 years old. I make over $300,000 a year now from home. I work for myself. But I used to make $12 an hour. I dropped out of high school, and I knew what it would take to survive, right? And I was barely making it. But you need to be able to put food on the table. You need to be able to pay your rent, pay your mortgage, electricity, car bill, car insurance, health insurance. Put money away for savings. Put money away for your future retirement. Have an emergency fund. Be able to, at least travel or enjoy your life. Do something that you enjoy once in a while. And I'm telling you, it takes closer to $20,000 to be able to have that breath of fresh air, do what you enjoy, and not be miserable with your life. Now, there are a lot of ways to make that happen, but I know a lot of people have this conversation of, hey, like, I make $5,000 a month and I'm able to survive. That's great. But for most people, you can't do that. Now, put a kid into the equation, feeding your kid, extracurricular activities, any sports, like them going away with their friends, being able to enjoy vacations, dinners, whatever the case may be, where you're not living like you're an ultra millionaire, but you're just enjoying your life and not miserable. Definitely takes closer to 20K.
I think about this a lot because I don't know. Like, as a 32-year-old with no children, making a decent salary, I look at families and I don't know how they do it, because even making a decent salary, I have to be very, very, very mindful of where my money goes every month in order to not go into more debt every month just to live. And I think the only reason why I'm able to do that is because I live in a fairly low cost of living city, and my housing costs are really low. My mortgage, including everything, every month is less than $800 a month. If it wasn't that low, I don't know. I don't know. And because it's so low, I am able to kind of tackle like some credit card debt and focus on some financial goals. But that's even with me being my partner and I being very, very mindful of our money. So again, even with our housing costs being really low, we budget every single month. We don't eat out at restaurants. We don't like sit down at restaurants. I don't remember the last time we did. If we do eat out, we do takeout, and that is rare. We cook like 95% of our meals. We cook, and we are an ingredients household. We shop at Aldi, Kroger. I use like the hell out of the digital coupons. 2 years ago, I was shopping at Whole Foods and not really thinking about it, not worrying about it. I can't do that anymore. So we are just super disciplined about food. We don't go out. There is a neighborhood bar we'll go to once or twice a week, but it's super cheap. Like beer shot combo is $5. I can get an espresso martini for $9, and when we go, we each only get one drink. And what else? I don't buy anything new. 95% of any clothes or household items I purchase are secondhand, either from thrift stores or estate sales or marketplace. And like, thankfully, I enjoy doing those things, but I also have to. For larger expenses, I use like sunk funds. So I'm naturally very blonde. So every 6 to 8 weeks, I have to go to the salon to maintain my brunette hair. And that is a chunk of change. It's like $150 to $250 each visit, depending on what exactly I'm having done. There was a period of time when I was not preparing for that, so I was putting that on the credit card. And I'm not doing that anymore. So I have, like, in my savings account, I have like different buckets. So each paycheck, I put a little bit of money in my hair maintenance bucket, so I'm more prepared when my appointment comes around. We don't travel. We don't go on trips. Any trip I've been on this year, outside of when my boyfriend and I visited my parents in Iowa, and we drove and we did like a little anniversary trip up north, which we drove to and just got an Airbnb for 2 nights. Outside of those 2 trips, anytime I've traveled this year has been through work. Like, we would love to travel. It's not an option right now for us financially. So while these strategies may be helpful, if my housing costs weren't so low, these strategies can only go so far. The only reason why I'm able to pay off debt and not go into more debt every single month is, yeah, I've had to get smarter and more disciplined about money, but also like, I don't pay very much at all for my housing. And yeah, not everybody has that option because housing is getting less and less affordable throughout the country, and not everybody, so many people for many reasons are not able to live in an affordable city like I do. So while yes, like these strategies have helped us get by, I don't think it should be this difficult.
They're struggling or going into debt 100%, or I know I am. If you haven't seen this woman's video, take a minute to watch it, guys. She's talking about one person with a teacher salary and how she's barely getting by. But I just feel like that's everyone. That's if you're a family of 4, or like me, a family of 8, 6 kids and a husband and myself. We're all struggling each day. The cost of living is quadrupled. Just to get groceries has now costed me a second mortgage. Let's be serious. I have 8 people to feed in my house. It's literally between $1,200 to $1,400 a month just to have groceries in my house. So now my credit, that's been great pretty much my entire life, because I've always believed if you can't buy it, don't have it. So I've never had credit cards till recently. Last couple years I've had to get credit cards just to get by certain things, school clothes or certain Christmas. Let's talk about that. Extra added expenses when I'm already struggling. Okay, my mortgage gets paid every month, but it's not at the first of the month. It's definitely at the end of the month. I mean, my bills are getting paid, but I'm falling behind every single day because I have to pick and choose which bills to go behind on so I have groceries in my house. Literal groceries in my house, guys. That's not right. It's not okay. And then I wake up this morning and my dryer shit the bed. My dryer. So where the hell am I gonna? Now I don't have any more. My credit cards are maxed. I don't have $500 extra in the bank anymore to get a dryer, or 900. I don't even know how much, but we're gonna have to add a new bill to life because mom is gonna be going to the laundromat. Okay, and yes, any bill extra is an extra bill right now that I can't afford. Something's got to change, and I know I can't be the only one that's out here. I feel like everybody is silently struggling and just doing the things to get by and going into debt and trying to keep your head above water and smile on your face, and yeah, silently struggling. I feel. Am I the only one?
They're not. People aren't paying bills. Listen, there's only two ways to solve this. You either, one, make more money, which start doing things that you like to do and get paid for it. Whether it's like on this app, a lot of people sell digital products. You can look for a side hustle. There is something that you can do to increase the monies that is currently coming in. Or number two, stop paying the bills. You think these people are here paying the bills? And I know. I may be one of them. However, it's you choose one. Instead of asking how are people paying the bills, ask yourself, what can I do to pay the bill, or why do I even care about paying the bill?
Well, the short answer is we are not. But I have another question though. How these influencers, how these people that I've been seeing are living so luxury lives like they are showing to us, and we're struggling to pay our credit cards. No hate, no envy, no nothing, but the last Black Friday I went to the mall and I personally saw a girl living Louis Vuitton with two bags. And she was also with a Dior bag in her other hand. I see here on TikTok some Target runs that the moms go there like living their lives, their best lives, spending $300 on Christmas decoration. Meanwhile, we are like struggling to pay the gas. So the question is, what are we doing wrong? What are we doing that these people are doing better? Or what are we missing? You know, because what I see from these stitches is that everybody is struggling. You know, people are putting their gas, their groceries on credit cards, and meanwhile, people are spending $300 on Christmas decoration. So yeah, if you can tell me what do you think it's wrong with us or it's so right with them, you can let me know.
Those influencers are sponsored, number one. And number two, they use debt. And three, some of them earn a lot per month, like 6 to 8 grand per month, just from content creation alone. 6 to 8 grand is not easy to make, but you are set for life, pretty much, honestly. I have had sponsors even reach out to me and offered me free stuff for a review on my channel, pretty much. So it's like, if you get a sponsor here and a sponsor here and a sponsor here and stuff like that, it adds up, honestly. It really adds up.
So personally, I tried to budget our way through whatever is going on with our economy right now, and it just was not possible. And one thing my husband said to me about a year ago that really stuck was we can't cut anything out. Like there's no more to cut. And so instead of cutting things, we have to be able to add to our income. And that's what we did, is we found other side hustles. I personally found that I could sell Canva templates on Etsy, which is a digital product. You make it one time, but you're able to sell it over and over again. And that's how I've been able to add extra income to our household. But there's no cutting in this economy anymore. Like, you cut out what you can. You have to be able to add to your income.
We're filing bankruptcy. And at this point with the American economy, we're not ashamed anymore. Like, for so many years, I knew the only thing, I just heard so many negative things about bankruptcy, but never the good side about it. I was always told that it's going to be on my credit for 7 to 10 years. I would not have a place to stay. I would not be able to have a car, a job, none of this stuff, because I heard so many negative things about bankruptcy. But no one really ever told me the good things about bankruptcy until I filed in 2020 at the age of 28. And that's when I didn't tell anyone that I was filing bankruptcy, because I had $50,000 worth of debt that I could no longer afford with how the economy was going, the pandemic happening. And looking back now, if I still had that debt plus more in 2023, I would not be surviving. The amount of stress-free that I am right now in this economy, thank God, because I filed bankruptcy 3 years ago. People never talk about the good side of filing bankruptcy of, hey, you're getting rid of that debt, especially in the Chapter 7 that I did. You're getting rid of that debt. You're able to get a fresh start. You're able to rebuild your credit. I'm now able to have a clearer vision of what I want my life to be like in the near future, because I no longer have to worry about, hey, I have to now worry about still paying this debt of $50,000 for the next 7 to 10 years. No, I filed a Chapter 7. I got rid of that $50,000 worth of debt in 3 months. And now I'm able to have better financial goals that I'm able to reach sooner because I stopped listening to what other people say. So if you're thinking about filing bankruptcy, if you have questions, please comment down below. But that's how the majority of us are living now, because yes, we have credit card debt, but so many of us are tired of it that we're filing bankruptcy and we're no longer ashamed of it.
I just came here to say that you absolutely can get ahead financially in life. For some people, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot harder than other people. Duh. A little over a year ago, my husband and I were living outside of Vancouver, making over $100,000 a year, spending about $5,000 a month on our bills. We decided that that is stupid, and we moved back to my home province, to the prairies, and we ended up buying our own house. Our mortgage is about $600 a month. We spend about, listen to this, we spend about $100 a year on cheese, and we eat cheese every day. We just go to a Hutterite colony and buy a massive block of cheese, cut it up, put it in the freezer, you know, if it's real cheese. I don't even know what I'm saying, but anyways, a couple $100 a year on meat. Okay, listen to me, meat. We are hunters, so we get deer tags and do that. Where we were living, that just wasn't possible. You guys you gotta look at your finances, you gotta look at your extracurriculars, figure out exactly what is absolutely necessary. It might take a couple of years of living below your means, but if you truly want to get where you want to be financially, it is possible. I promise you.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.